Analyst Michael Nathanson forecasts YouTube's standalone valuation to reach an impressive $400 billion, driven by its reported operating profits of $5.5 billion and revenue of $45 billion in December 2023, with anticipated growth stemming from subscription services like YouTube TV. Despite its significant financial clout, YouTube often eludes scrutiny in discussions in online safety by the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, contrasting starkly with other tech giants like Meta, Snap, and TikTok, which were grilled during a recent hearing on big tech and an online child sex exploitation crisis. A comparative analysis underscores YouTube's dominance in the media landscape as its projected value surpasses the combined market cap of industry behemoths, Disney and Comcast, standing at $224 billion and $172 billion each, underscoring its pivotal role in the streaming domain and digital advertising market. Tom.
Well, I think what people need to understand about this story, and forget that it's insider, let's look at the reality of what's happened to YouTube. YouTube has become basically Comcast, who had DirecTV forever. I mean, DirecTV, right? All, 17, 20%, and DirecTV was the home of NFL Sunday Ticket. YouTube TV is now a cable service, including live television, including DVR in the sky, and including NFL Sunday Ticket, the exclusive home of the NFL for all those games. And I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying that's just it. That's been announced. So YouTube has all the user-generated content. YouTube has all the live video podcasts, such as this one. YouTube is operating YouTube TV, and they are basically, a cable op. They're an MSO now. And on top of it, they've got the streaming and over the top. So when you say, oh my gosh, it could be this value, it's really not about the value. It's about the clout and what's happening and the changing face of how we distribute content, how people consume content, and that the walled garden is dead. And so this doesn't surprise me. I think the $400 billion is light because YouTube is, and by the way, comparing it to Disney, Disney stock is up recently. They have some changes, they're announcing layoffs and now doing things. But think of Disney. When you think of Disney, just say theme parks and library. And when you think of Comcast, just think of distributor. And so content, library, and distributor and more is YouTube, and it's worth more. And it's not saddled by all of Comcast, not to get into details, but Comcast is saddled by a lot of infrastructure, all that cable and hardware and everything that runs around your neighborhood and the boxes that's in everybody's house. That's Comcast. They have to invest in that. YouTube's investment in that, zero. They have servers, and it's all that's necessary. They don't have all the facilities everywhere. So this is really talking about, hey, $400 billion, Pat, I think that's light because of where YouTube is going and what it's replacing.
I don't understand the economics the way Tom does. Makes sense to me what he's saying. I think the most important aspect of YouTube is that it is a marketplace of ideas. And I think that that is the most important commodity in media. And look, they do plenty of community guidelines stuff, and they have their own internal policies. I believe, as Vinny was mentioning earlier, we have to get away from the mindset that it's okay to limit things that you don't like. Mm-hmm. We have a great mechanism for it. It's called the law. If something is illegal, then you can't be saying it, doing it, etc. Short of that, let people decide. And who should want that are the people with the best ideas.
Exactly.
I want to hear the people who are putting out myths or disinformation or BS. Let it go. It makes it easier for me to be compelling. When you censor, you empower things. YouTube hasn't done that the way the other platforms do. And I think it's seen as more of a, ironically, safe space. Not that you can't find freaky stuff on there that might scare you, but that you know it's up to you to decide.
Yes.
And I think that's the commodity, that's the precious thing, and we're losing it. Well, so good for them.
Yeah, I will tell you, today, YouTube hasn't, but during COVID, the first 2 years, YouTube was brutal. Yep. I cannot tell you how many guys were taken down who were doing great content, couple million subscribers, channels wiped out, businesses taken down, demonetized. They were making 30 grand a month, 50 grand a month, some $100,000 a month, gone. Some of the smaller guys, they're making $8,000 a month, doing all the edits themselves, they're gone. So YouTube did some of that stuff. And a lot of times people will contact me and they'll say, yeah, how come you're not going on this platform? And how come you're not doing this? And how come you're not going to Rumble? And how come you're not going to these places? I love what Rumble's doing. I think they're very necessary. And I think Chris is a stud of a guy. And him, Bongino, all those guys, salute. Love him. I think we're about to have Bongino on in a couple weeks. I don't know when it is. Rob, is it the next couple weeks that he's going to be on?
May.
Early May. Early May he's going to be on. I think Dan I thought Dan was going to be the face of Fox.
I love him.
I'm telling you, I thought Bongino was going to replace O'Reilly and Tucker. I thought that guy was going to be the guy that we're going to get behind. It's now Jesse Waters. Jesse's going to be on the podcast, I think, this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Bongino was super sweet to you at UFC. But
He was
Dan
very
is a-
kind.
Yeah.
He came up, he said hello. He looks
Yeah.
great, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, he
shout
looks
out to
great.
Bongino.
But he's
Yeah.
a stud. He's a voice, and he's correct.
Yeah, but the point is, we need Rumble to do what they're doing. Twitter, super necessary. The fact that Elon bought it. By the way, if Elon doesn't buy Twitter, YouTube would be a bigger bully today. The reason why YouTube is not bullying is because of Elon. And if Elon doesn't buy, here's a crazy,
Scenario?
what do you call it? Not scenario, but
Trickle-down effect?
Yeah, prediction is if Elon doesn't buy Twitter, Rumble today is a $10 billion company. If Elon doesn't buy Twitter, Rumble today would be a $10 billion company if Elon doesn't buy Twitter.
So would Truth.
And Truth Social would also be a $10 billion company today, if not higher, if Elon doesn't buy Twitter. Elon buying Twitter eliminated a lot of other things. So for me, going back to YouTube, I think YouTube's got a great technology. Their product is a good product. If your job is in the business of converting people, you want to convert people here on YouTube, you can come here and talk about all these other things. You wonder, like, sometimes you're like, wow, how about this? How about that? Nope, YouTube's got a very good platform. I love what Spotify is doing. But the fact that they're a $400 billion company, I wonder, Tom, strategically, like, do you sit there if you're running YouTube, you got a $400 billion company, $45 billion in revenue, $5.4 billion in net profits. Do you sit there and say, okay, what are we not in? Sports, what do we have? Boom, 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 boom. Copa America's coming up here. Do we want to pay to do Copa America on YouTube? Maybe. Do we want to do what, who did the Miami Dolphins game against Kansas City
That was
Chiefs?
Amazon, I believe.
Not Amazon. It's the other company's name. What is the name? No, who took the Miami Dolphins game against Kansas
Peacock.
City Chiefs? Peacock, right? And they paid $110 million for that. Do we do that? The music, they're already dominating all these music channels. Do we go into the movie side and we already are doing it? Should we go? Do we go into the? Like, I would be. YouTube could sincerely dominate the game. Now, if Elon flips and he does some things on the video side, like on Twitter, here's what doesn't work with Twitter with video yet. There's still not a search. I can't search to find out what's going on. I can't fully put a description with a link and type, all that stuff. You can, like Tucker does it, but it's not fully there. If Elon wants to compete with the YouTube business, there's plenty of money to be made there.
And I still, by the way, this was it a month ago? I got in trouble, and we got a strike. I got a strike for the V word about the COVID. I said, Dr. Malone said something factual, his opinion, his professional opinion. I got a strike because I said.
Well, everybody knows on YouTube that's the
You can.
one
We're
thing.
going back to your point. Remember?
Don't go deeper on this,
no,
Vinny.
No, I'm not.
Don't
but
go deeper.
It's insane how still something picked up and went, oh.
But how insane is it that we have something called the V word? It is very, it's not an opinion for me, okay? As a speech person, this is really concerning. I get it both ways, right? I am given this odd symbolism as someone who is a vaccine proponent. I was doing the job of reporting what we were being told and asking questions as we go. You were saying earlier, we don't know. I really believe the virus came from China and we should have stayed on it. And I don't care if they wouldn't give us access. That tells me everything. I won't let you in my house. It's because I know what's in there. I have long COVID. I see it in my blood. I'm not happy that I see the spike protein in my blood. I didn't want to have
this day?
I have it right now. I'm doing a long COVID protocol right now with a doctor called Robin Rose. We're going to see if my blood work changes. Spike protein is a problem because it creates microclotting and it can go into different organ systems. So you got to take care of it. All right? It's a thing. A lot of people have it. Okay. We don't know if the spike protein comes from the virus or the vaccine. You've got to ask. They've got to start getting answers. You got to do the research. They keep taking down my content. So I'm the guy who's supposed to be Mr. Jab. Like, I'm Junior Fauci, and I'm getting censored.
Travis Kelce.
Because I'm raising a question about which way it goes. This is very unhealthy for the democracy. This is very unhealthy for the democracy. You have to let people be the discerners of what information they want to take in. If you don't agree with what I'm asking as questions, answer them with better information than what is supposed in my question, and you will win. And they will listen to you and say, okay, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with this. But that will never happen if you silence my idea, because it only gives it power. And I'm worried about that. You shouldn't have to say the V word. People shouldn't send me coded messages that have like asterisks in the place of letters because they're afraid of getting flagged.
Have
by
you ever
some
had Peter
algorithm.
McCullough or Malone on, or no?
No.
Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm open to the conversation where you have unknown, because all I know is that the places that are supposed to be getting us the answers aren't curious enough about it because there's too much political price when you go anywhere near COVID.
The amount of traffic we're getting right now with Minect is unbelievable. Yesterday, I can't even tell you how many Minects came through yesterday for me. Great conversations, people booking 15-minute calls. Tom is about to cross 2,000 Minects. Okay, he'll be the first person to have 2,000 paid Minects there. I know Chris is probably one of the fastest to respond on Minect. I think he's a 24-hour guy at 100% response back to answer. So if you have any questions today, if you disagree with me or agree with Tom or Vinny or Adam or Como, these are their QR codes. Ask him any question you want on Minect. There's a 95% chance you get a response back. On Instagram, you get response backs 5%. On LinkedIn, 5%. On Twitter, less than 10%. On Minect, there's a 90 to a 95% chance they're going to get back to you.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.